Well, hello and welcome. I'm Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're in Season 4, Episode 208. And again, a new one, first ever Lionel Richie Miss Heard Song Lyric. The Miss Heard lyric is, wait the party, Bullwinkle. And then the correct lyrics is, wait the party, oh, we gone. I love the song. And it's, of course, if you haven't figured it out, All Night Long by Lionel Richie. I sing this a lot in karaoke. And I usually pick it when we need like a pickup. And when I sing it, most people have to dance, sing along, because it's such a fun and catchy tune. And so before we go into the song, Lionel Richie, because there's some ahas that I just found out this week doing research for this misheard song lyric, let's touch on the misheard word itself, Bullwinkle, because there's probably a lot of youngins out there going, I don't know what that means. So it comes from the cartoon show called The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, or commonly known as Rocky and Bullwinkle. And it was an American animated television series, originally aired back, get this, in November 19th, 1959 to June 27th, 1964, both on the ABC and NBC network. It was produced by J. Ward Productions. The series is kind of a variety show, with the main feature being the adventures of two title characters, which is a talking flying squirrel, Rocket J, or Rocky Squirrel. Yes, that's Rocky. And the moose, Bullwinkle J Moose. So that's the Rocky and Bullwinkle. And that's the misheard song lyric today. It sounds like they're singing Bullwinkle. The lead characters are heroes of the series. So Rocket, Rocky J, Squirrel, like I said, flying squirrel who talks, who's anchored the perspective of the show's younger audience, and his best friend, Bullwinkle J Moose, what they say, dim-witted, so not very smart, but good-natured moose, who carries a bulk of the adult humor with his spontaneous puns. So you'll hear in a second why it was so big with both children and adults. Both characters live in the fictional town of Frostbite Falls, Minnesota, which was purportedly based on the real city of International Falls, Minnesota. That's a new aha for me. And then they had villains. And the villains in these episodes were these fiendish spies. One was a Boris Badenov, a pun on Boris Godunov, that's funny, and Natasha Fatale, a pun on Femme Fatale, forever attempting to catch moose and squirrels. They're always trying to get Rocky and Bullwinkle. And then other characters include Fearless Leader, the dictator of the fictitious nation of Pottsylvania, and Boris and Natasha's superior Gidney and Cloyd, little green men from the moon who were armed with scrooge guns, and then a Captain Peter Wrongway Peachfuzz, the captain of the SS Andalusia, various U.S. government bureaucrats and politicians, such as the Senator Fussmussen, a recurring character who opposed admitting Alaska and Hawaii to the Union on the grounds of his own fear or dislike of anything which is perceived being foreign or strange, and the inevitable onlookers, Edgar and Chauncey. There were also some supporting segments, included one with a Dudley Do-Right, a parody of old-time melodrama, and then Peabody's Improbable History, a dog named Mr. Peabody, I remember him, and his boy Sherman traveling through time, and a fractured fairy tales, classic fairy tales retold in comic fashion, among others. I gotta go on YouTube and find this stuff. It sounds interesting. Because again, I was too young when it first came out in the 50s, 60s. It was also one of the first cartoons whose animations were outsourced. So storyboards were actually shipped to Gamma Productions, located in Mexico, also employed by Total Television. That's interesting. So because of it, the art has a choppy, like they say, unpolished look, and the animation is extremely limited, even by television animation standards at that time. Yet the series has been held in high esteem by those who have seen it. Some critics describe the series as a well-written radio program with pictures. So there you go. And the show was shuffled around several times during its run, airing in the afternoon, prime time, and then Saturday morning cartoon time slots. And actually was very influential to other animated series today, The Simpsons, to Rocko's Modern Life. And then segments from the series were later recycled in the Hoppity Hopper show, if those remember that. There's also been some movie adaptations of these various segments. There was one in 2000, I remember vaguely, called The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, which blended live action and computer animation, and the 1999 live action film Dudley Do-Right. Now, how did they both do? Well, unfortunately, both received poor reviews and were financially unsuccessful, is what they said. But the other, remember I talked about earlier, there was the other character of Mr. Peabody and the dog and Sherman. That film did well. I did not know that. It was called Peabody's Improbable History. It was released to positive reviews in 2014. And then last on this is a rebooted animated series also based on Peabody's Improbable History called The Mr. Peabody and Sherman Show. Actually debuted on Netflix in October 2015. So that I will check out. But that is the Bullwinkle part of the misheard for those who do not know about Rocking Bullwinkle. All right, and let's go into the song itself. So All Night Long, or in parentheses, All Night, is a single by American singer-songwriter Lionel Richie. I love him. It's from August 1983 and from his second solo album, Can't Slow Down, back in 1983. Wait a minute. So August of 1983, it's August of 2023. It is 40 years old this month, people. Oh my God, I'm feeling old. Wow. It combined Richie's soulful Commodore style with Caribbean influences, or Caribbean? How do you say it? Anyway, it's 40 years this month. This actual single reached #1 on 3 Billboard charts, pop, R&B, and adult contemporary. And in the UK, it peaked at #2 on the singles chart. The song lyrics, okay, remember when they go right into the part where it sounds, I think, African, we're assuming? Well, I'm going to blow your mind with what I found out here. So the song lyrics were primarily written in English, but Richie had admitted in at least one press interview that the African lyrics in the song, such as Tombalite Sete Maya, Jumbo Jumbo, where in fact his sui generis dialects, Richie has described those portions of the song as a wonderful joke, in quotes, written when he discovered that he lacked the time to hire a translator to contribute to the foreign language lyrics he wished to include in the song. Interesting. It also was supported in an August 5th, 2014 Washington Post article by Helena Anders Dyer, which was titled, "Remember those African lyrics in Lionel Richie's hit All Night Long? Yeah, they're just gibberish." In the article, it states, quote unquote, looking for some African phrases to complement All Night Long's global inspired beat, Richie said he called up a friend who worked at the United Nations. The singer-songwriter was informed that there are 101 African dialects and it would take weeks to just get a few words. Instead of waiting, he did like so many cool kids have done before him and made up his own lingo. Quote unquote, somewhere in that made-up language, Richie continued, I am actually saying something because even to this day, we'll play India and someone will tell me, yeah, you've touched on certain words in our language. As long as I'm not cursing you out, I'm going in the right direction. So that's pretty, that could be dicey if he would have used made-up words that, were curse words or something, not great words. But in this case, it wasn't. So part of that African lyrics that we thought were all African, which we now know made up, and that was part of our misheard today, was wait to party, oh, we gone, or going, is wait to party Bullwinkle. So, okay, so now we know about Rocking Bullwinkle. We now know that the African lyrics in All Night Long are mostly made up by Lionel Richie, but do we know about Lionel Richie, the man, the myth, the amazing singer-songwriter? Let's talk about him. So he was born Lionel Brockman Richie Jr. He's a junior. He was born back on June 20th, 1949. He, of course, is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, television personality, and then rose to fame in the 1970s as songwriter and the co-lead singer of the Motown group Commodores. I love him. I do sing some Commodore songs because I'm that low register, and I just love his songs. And, of course, when I sing, like one of the hit singles I sing is Easy. He's like Sunday morning, people love it. And then Ceylon, 3 Times a Lady, and Still with the group before his departure. And then in 1980, he wrote and produced the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 #1 single, Lady, You're My Knight in Shining Armor, 'Cause I Love You, for Kenny Rogers. That did well. What did really well was I Was a Mere 9. So 1981, Richie wrote and produced the single, Endless Love. My love, there's only you in my life. The only thing that's right. Well, he recorded it as a duet with Diana Ross. It still remains among the top 20 best-selling singles of all time. I didn't know that. And the biggest career hit for both artists. That's another aha. Then in 1982, Lionel Richie launched officially his solo career with the album Lionel Richie, which sold over 4 million copies and spawned such hits as You Are, My Love, and the #1 song, a single, Truly, Truly in Love with You, Girl. Again, love his songs. It's the second one that did quite well. This is Can't Slow Down in 1983, and I have the cassette tape where he's sitting on a chair backwards. It's all kind of blue, white, feel like a kind of beach vibe or coastal vibe. This is where we have our song today, All Night Long. It reached #1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart and sold over 20 million. So he went from 4 million a year earlier to 20 million copies worldwide sold, and is becoming one of the best-selling albums of all time. And it, of course, has All Night Long, which is what we're talking about today, and his original of Hello, or Hello, not the Adele Hello, but his version of Hello. And then he then co-wrote the 1985 charity single We Are the World with Michael Jackson, which sold over another 20 million copies. So he's just, anything he touches, Mr. Lionel Richie is striking gold. And then his third album, which I also like, but I didn't buy the cassette on that one. It's called Dancing on the Ceiling in 1986. So 3 years later, it spawned the single Say You, Say Me from the 1985 film White Nights. I think the Baryshnikov, the dancer, was in that movie. Yes. And the #2 hit title track, which is Dancing on the Ceiling. And then from 1986 to 1996, so 10 years, Richie took a break from recording. He's like, I got to rest. I'm just making so much work, money, and I just got to rest. Since then, he's released 7 studio albums. And then he joined the singing competition American Idol to serve as judge, starting from its 16th season, which was in 2018 to present. So that's what he's doing now. During his solo career, Mr. Richie became one of the most successful singers, balladeers in the 1980s, and has sold over 100 million records worldwide, making him one of the world's best-selling artists of all time. He has won 4 Grammy Awards, including Song of the Year for We Are the World and Album of the Year for the 1983 album we're talking about right now, Can't Slow Down. Endless Love was nominated for an Academy Award. He didn't win for that, but he did win an Oscar Academy Award for Say You, Say Me. Won both the Academy Award and the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. So he now has his Grammys. He has an Oscar. In 2016, he also received the Songwriters Hall of Fame highest honor, the Johnny Mercer Awards. He's got that award. And then in 2022, just last year, Lionel Richie received the Gershwin Prize for Popular Song by the Library of Congress, as well as the American Music Awards Icon Award. He was also inducted to the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022, so just recently, just last year. There you go. So let's learn about him personally, because there was things I had assumed I knew, and I assumed. So here you go. He was married to his college sweetheart, Brenda Harvey, back on October 18, 1975. Here's the next did you know. In 1983, the couple informally adopted a Nicole Camille Escovedo, now, as we know, Nicole Richie, his daughter. She was then the 2-year-old daughter of a member of Lionel's band, who was also the niece of Sheila E. You remember the drummer Sheila E? She wrote and sang, I think she sang the Prince, oh no, she didn't write it. Prince wrote her song, Glamorous Life. She wants to lead the glamorous life. She don't need a man's touch. She wants to lead the glamorous life. Without love, it ain't much. That's her aunt. So there's so many questions there, because like, why didn't Sheila E. take her on? Why did Lionel Richie? Well, good for Nicole Richie that she became his daughter, because hey, life is good, right? So the Richies raised Nicole as their daughter, as we all know. She went to do her own crazy stuff with her bestie at that time back in 2000s. Gosh, it's many years ago already, with The Simple Life. She was raised by them, and they adopted her legally when she was 9 years old. And then, of course, she got married to Joel Madden from the rock band Good Charlotte and made Richie a grandfather in 2008. And then Richie's second grandchild was born to the couple in 2009. So he's got 2 grandbabies from Miss Nicole Richie. But I did not know she was the niece of Sheila E. My God, I've learned so much. And then not so good things happened. So they're going along, him and his college sweetheart, Brenda Harvey. Well, I'm assuming Mr. Richie saw an eye with someone else. So in June of 1988, Harvey herself was arrested and charged with corporal injury to a spouse, resisting arrest, trespassing, vandalism, and battery, and disturbing the peace after she found Richie at Diane Alexander's Beverly Hills apartment. You know that, hell hath no fury than a woman scorned. Well, she was scorned. So they divorced on August 9, 1993, after nearly 18 years of marriage. It's sad. Richie then married, I guess, the lady that he was having the affair with, Diane Alexander, on December 25th, 1995. They have since had a son, Miles Brockman, born May 27th, 1994, and a daughter, Sophia Richie, born August 24th, 1998. The marriage also ended in divorce in 2004. So about, well, 19 years ago. Health-wise, Richie had suffered prolonged throat problems and a surgery 4 times in 4 years before being told by what they call conventional doctors that he could lose his singing career. He then went to a holistic doctor, it says here online, who said the problem was simply acid reflux caused by foods Richie was eating before going to bed. So hopefully that helped. I know Adele has had some issues with, I don't know if lymph nodes or problems. You know, they're singing all the time. That is their livelihood. So it's a double-edged sword. Have you seen the music video? I have just recently. I remember as a kid, but it's amazing. You need to watch it. It is very colorful. Everyone in every different kind of a 1980s pastel colors outfit, dancing away, even with a colorful stage sound set. It is produced by former monkey and TV video pioneer Michael Nesmith. That's another aha I didn't know that did the video, and directed by Bob Rafelson. It was posted on YouTube back on October 4, 2012, and it has since hit about 148 million hits, and I was part of it today. And I'm guessing, if you watch it, please watch it. There's a cute little girl in a yellow dress dancing with her little arms when they do the African dance, and she's probably in her mid-40s by now. So that is how old that video is. And apparently, this song that we're talking about, All Night Long, was actually performed in 2 very prominent examples. One, which is performed by Richie at the closing ceremonies at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, which, perfect song because everyone's going to be on their feet dancing. The song was also used in a pilot episode for Miami Vice called Brother's Keeper. Apparently, Richie was supposed to appear in the episode to sing it, but was on tour at that time and couldn't make it to that filming location. So they play the song, but an unnamed band plays a song in the episode. Number 3 or 4. So hope you learned a lot. I did. I love this song. And it's, of course, not Way to Party Bullwinkle, but Way to Party, oh, we gone. If you have any great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, please send it to any of our sites at NowX. That's the name of Twitter, right? Facebook and Instagram, the youngins say. Or you can just email me old-fashioned, because I'm old-fashioned too, at misheard. That's MISSHEARD songs@gmail.com. Until then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.